Let's have a look at Avalanche, ticker symbol Avax, because it's one of the main gainers in the last 7 days, right? Almost 50% price appreciation. And the question is this already the ceiling? Are we seeing just a fake out over here, or are we going further up? Is there more potential? Now in this video, we're going to look not just at the US dollar chart, we're going to look at relative valuations, at Avax denominated in Ethereum or denominated in Bitcoin. We're also going to look at Avax relative to the overall altcoin market. So Avax's market cap divided by total 3. And there's also a chart showing the Avax dominance. So how important is Avalanche in the grand scheme of things? How much of all of market cap within crypto is in Avalanche? Now let's first start off with the US dollar chart and let's look at the back-tested moving averages over here. So I've run several simulations of buying and selling various altcoins. And I've also run that simulation for Avalanche, trying to find out if we try to time the market and we want to bet on falling prices, what kind of a daily moving average actually works the best. And in here, in blue, we see the best simple moving average, and in red, we see the best exponential moving average. And currently, we are above both of those moving averages, a pretty clear breakout, which would indicate that things might get bullish again, right? The very bullish case would be a repetition of what we have seen in July, August, September, etc. of last year. So if we just overlay that, then of course the sky is somewhat to the limit. The upside potential is a 7x or a 600% gain from here. Now things don't always play out ideally, right? So let's not look at this in a too rosy way. Let's actually look at this in terms of relative valuations. And let's start that view with Avalanche's relative valuation to Bitcoin. So those kinds of charts are relevant because when you invest in an altcoin, right? When you go down this list of various altcoins, thinking about what to actually bet on, then you're always taking on more risk than by simply betting on Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? The main benchmarks, so to speak. So if the riskier altcoin does not even outperform Bitcoin or Ethereum, why take on all this additional risk? So that's why you really want to be making gains in Satoshi or in Ethereum. Currently, the risk to reward does not look too bad. We are in an upwards trend and we are relatively low on that upwards trend. That's pretty much the ideal scenario that we want to see in a chart like this. What about Avax versus Ethereum? A relatively similar situation, a bit more short-term though, right? One might argue that this is more or less a sideways trading range and that we are now low on a potential short-term recovery. This potential gain to the all-time high is roughly 90% versus Ethereum. Now, why are we playing with all of these bullish scenarios? It's because the best back-tested moving averages for Bitcoin and Ethereum in total 3 also look bullish. So Bitcoin has just crossed its longer-term best simple moving average. So Bitcoin is bullish. Ethereum has done the same. So ETH is bullish. And then here we've got total 3. Total 3 is cryptocurrency's market cap minus Bitcoin's market cap and minus Ethereum's market cap. So the altcoin market cap. So alts also have just broken out. And so due to the inherent leverage of Avalanche, because it has more risk, it also tends to rise more when times do get bullish. So this is now the Avalanche dominance. This is a percentage number. So 0.69% of all of crypto is in Avalanche's market cap. This could go up by roughly 80% or 0.5 percentage points. Let's also have a look at relative valuations to Solana, Cardano, Polkadot, Phantom, basically the direct competitors of Avalanche. But before we do this, if you enjoy this video so far, please give this a like because it will help the channel grow. Thank you. So this is Avalanche versus Solana. Now, this is an interesting chart because Solana was on a run in 2021, outpacing Avax. Since then, we are pretty much in a sideways trading range and we are somewhat in the middle of that range. Now, this is a logarithmic chart. So in terms of percentage, the downside isn't actually that bad. The downside is 43%. The upside is 55 or maybe even 70%. Doesn't really look like this, but once we look at this on a linear scale, and we zoom in a little bit, then we can see the potential move to the down is a bit less than the potential move to the upside. Still, I wouldn't really bet on any kind of direction here. We are not in any kind of extreme level here. Neither very expensive on Avax nor very expensive on Solana. This is Avax versus Cardano. So Avalanche was outperforming quite a bit in 2021 or in the latter half of 2021. Now that outperformance isn't that obvious anymore. It does look like we could see some kind of a resistance relatively soon again. So Avax isn't necessarily a clear outperformer versus Cardano. I wouldn't necessarily swap my Cardano to Avax if that's what you're currently holding, and if you try to time these relative valuations. It's interesting how these charts look relatively similar in a way, right? This is Avax versus Polkadot, and very often we see sideways trading ranges in these layer 1 competitors opening up opportunities to buy relatively depressed and we are low in such a sideways trading range, and to sell whenever we are relatively high. So on this chart, right, Avax to Polkadot, one would swap the Avax to DOT after the next outperformance of 50% or so. So it makes sense to keep an eye on those charts, and then once we are that elevated, to again have a dedicated look at Polkadot if DOT itself looks bullish at that point. Currently, it does look like Avax is on a run and that DOT, at least in the short term, might be underperforming Avax. Here is Avax versus Phantom. Phantom did go up quite a bit, around 50% as well in the last 7 days, but it did not outperform Ethereum, interestingly enough. So Ethereum got quite a bit of hype with the merge, with the ETH 2.0 launch. And if we now look at Avax relative to Phantom, Avax doesn't look bad, right? It tends to outperform since October of last year. We are relatively low on that upwards trend, and we also have quite a close support over here. So given that the overall market now looks bullish, that Bitcoin is bullish, that Ethereum is bullish, that Total 3 is bullish, I think it makes sense to get risk on again and to bet on the altcoins that tend to outperform. Avax does seem to outperform quite a bit of the overall altcoin market. It does seem to outperform Phantom. And if we just look at this in an aggregate, right, Avax's market cap relative to Total 3, we also can see that outperformance right now. So that's how I currently see this. Of course, this is simply just TA. This is simply just relative valuations. Nothing is certain in crypto. And even with all of those nice breakouts, sometimes, at least temporarily, things can be shaky for a while. We never know if we just go straight up or if we have an initial breakout just to then come back down again until we get to a final rally. But I like the current setup. Bitcoin already went down by more than 65% from the all-time high to today's price. The attention on crypto isn't that low, at least from the existing crowd. There isn't a lot of new people entering, but the existing investors, they tend to stay. Market dips are being bought. Wallet sizes or number of wallets are going up as well. So Avax is a typical risk on vehicle, and it does have quite a bit of potential. If the market stays bullish, then seeing again $100 for one Avax, I think is not unrealistic. If you haven't yet subscribed, feel free to do so. I publish videos regularly. You also might consider joining the Bitcoin Strategy channel. Simply search for Bitcoin Strategy channel within the Telegram app. And last but not least, there is premium membership where I share what I personally do with my crypto capital. There's a lot of exclusive content. There's also an exclusive chat where you can ask me any questions. More information about that is in this video. Hope to see you in that video, and thanks for watching this one. Bye bye.